Yo dudes! Excuse my voice. Welcome, this is a wonderful bearded Viking known as JP, Michelin Star chef, super cool dude and friend. And today what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to take a basic curry and how to elevate it and cook like a super duper pro.
I wouldn't go that far, but hopefully it'll taste just as good.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's like, I'm going to cook just a simple basic curry and just so how a home, simple starter chef would cook. And JP, we're going to show how we can take your cooking to the next level with 5 points.
Cool, let's go.
Sound good? Yeah. Okay, great. Okay, so typically if you're starting an Indian curry, typically you'll start with your base Indian stock, which will be onion, ginger, garlic, onion, ginger, garlic, and chili. And I'll literally get a hot pan, oil in. What oil will do is it'll enable the temperature to go a little bit higher.
Are you going to cut mine as well for me?
Oh no, you're doing fancy stuff, JP, remember?
So then you have to move over to your own side, you know,
okay,
to share this board, you know.
Okay, yes, sorry sir.
No, that's all right, you know. I don't use a lot of ginger or chili.
Do you know?
No, well in Aniar we only use stuff that grows in Ireland, but saying that, as someone rightly pointed out, chilies do grow well in Ireland.
Yeah,
I don't really have a fondness for chili, but look, that is not to say it's not
love
good.
a bit. So in goes our onion at a high temperature. Obviously, if you want to cook quickly, like you want a hot pan. Obviously, in JP's case, if you want more flavour, cook at a lower speed.
I think so, and like you're doing your onion there, whereas our towel, I can show you what we did with our onion. And so what we did, we put it in. Oh, sorry,
don't worry.
Burning you. We were gonna roast the onion whole. We put it on a little bit of sea salt. It's not quite there yet, but when it's there, you'll be able to just kind of pinch into it. And what that does is it lets the sugars kind of come out of the onion quite slowly, and it just gives it that little bit more kind of umami.
Nuance of flavour, so you're going to get more sweetness, whereas this way you're going to get more char. So again,
it'll be ready yet. It'll be ready quicker. As you can see, there's nothing in my frying pan yet.
Yeah, I'll have dinner done. So it's down to prioritise. Obviously, if you want more flavour and more fancy stuff, you need to invest more time. So it's generally go together. So you see my onions are starting to brown. Garlic, here's JP showing us with our garlic.
So is this for you or me?
That's for me, yeah.
Oh God. Okay, fair enough.
Well, this isn't speed. Oh look, this is a nice little technique of how to mash your garlic.
Oh yeah, so just literally chop it 2 or 3 times and then mash it all into one, and then you're done.
And in it goes.
And I have to do my own.
So that's the base of my curry, is simply that. I'm going to turn the heat down now so we can get JP's fancy stuff going.
Right. I'm still
wondering. So point number 1 is time, isn't it?
Point 1 is time, and like I suppose we're looking at the time for the onion to slowly caramelize, for the sugars to kind of become more complex. That's one point. I think.
Do you want a blowtorch? We try blowtorch just to show.
Yeah, no. So what I wanted to do was I'm going to put some Jerusalem artichokes in mine. So these are little artichokes, little baby artichokes, all the way from Galway. Like when you caramelize anything, what you're doing is you're bringing the sugar to the fore, and then when you taste that, it's the Maillard reaction. It tastes good. It tastes nice, and it sends a little signal to your brain going yummy. That's always how.
More.
And you can get that with anything. So
and will that cook right through to the centre? No,
no.
That's just the skin. So this is just purely.
Because we're going to have the same. We're going to have chickpeas. We're going to have tomatoes. We're going to have coconut. But this is just going to give it a little added flavour, because you can see it's charring there now.
It's blistering.
And if you put them all in the pan, you wouldn't get as high. You wouldn't get the heat to be high enough. But yeah, artichokes are beautiful raw as well. So we could char these, and then you could put them through a mandolin, and then toss them through a salad.
And it's just adding that extra dimension of flavour that wouldn't be. It's bringing out the sugars, as you said, bringing the sugars to the fore.
You wouldn't get.
Okay, so it's almost like point number 1 is different cooking techniques. So instead of me just here, I'm literally frying our onion, but what JP's doing is he's taking more time and he's baking one onion and then he's charring an artichoke just to bring more flavours. So
and then it's all gonna come together in the pan. And I find sometimes that's the difference between what I'm cooking. The difference between, say, when I'm cooking at home and I'm cooking in the restaurant. Often what happens in the restaurants is you break everything down into constituted pieces, and then you arrange them.
There's even so much moisture coming out.
I think artichokes. They're one of my favourites.
Also known as the fartichoke.
Also, you do know that they're not an artichoke and they're not from Jerusalem.
Sunflower. It's from the sunflower family.
Sunflower family, and they were misnamed coming in to England like 17th century. And they came from a place that sounded like Jerusalem, and the guys thought they were artichokes. And then...
And that was that.
That was that. But you even smell, you can smell that nuttiness.
Yeah, it's
The
lovely.
nuttiness coming off. In the restaurant at the moment, we have a Jerusalem artichoke puree, and what we do is we smoke the artichokes. So smoke them, and then we blend them into a little bit of water, a little bit of stock, vegetable stock, and they're really, really nice. So extra virgin rapeseed oil. That's going to go over then.
That'll help carry that char flavour better.
And then some sea salt.
And bake it.
Yeah, just pop them in.
like that.
Now, literally, I just thought of that now because we could put them in the pan, but I think what we'll do is we'll get all the flavour out of them, and then what we'll do is we'll put our sauce in here, and then we'll work that on. So we're going to pop it in.
I like that.
Yeah. We have our onion out, nice and soft.
So you see, it's really caramelised.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
And the smell. Yeah, so you get there's a nice depth of smell there.
Wow, it really brings out the sugars. It makes an onion look just beautiful.
So. Now I'm going to show you another trick now. So what we want to do is, because we want to keep, you can throw your ginger and the chili in there.
Okay. So we got our oil in the pan. Oil's going to carry the flavour and help it come through. Okay, literally just do that just to give again more nuances. JP loves flame, loves fire. You're a total pyromaniac, JP.
Look, anything, there's a chance to set fire to something.
You're in.
I will absolutely go in. And onions are any of the onion family, leeks, garlic, they burn really well.
They burn. I love it.
They love it.
I guess they're high in sugar.
It's all the
sugars.
residual sugar, but it just looks so beautiful. I just love the shape of an onion.
But also that'll add extra flavour. Like it's that little char that's adding an extra dimension of flavour.
And what we've done is we've kept them in lobes, and that's one thing that I like to do as well, because when you the difference, like when we're cooking at home, we're trying to get everything into the pan as quickly as we can, and we're trying to make the curry because we need to feed the kids, and the kids are at you. So the last thing you're going to be doing is this. I would not. People always ask me, "Do I cook like this?"
What do you cook at home? No, toast.
Toast, literally. So we're going to pop them in.
So you're keeping them whole, keeping the lobes whole.
And what that'll do is when we're plating, it'll give us a little bit of structure to build up the height. And that's another thing when you're plating the presentation, is that you need to get a bit of different depth of field. So when you look at it, you go, oh, you can turn it around.
There's a high, there's a tall.
Exactly. So
we're going to look at that. That's very beautiful. Wow.
No, it's really
beautiful. Even with the salt in the tip of it, really, like it's the contrast of the sweetness of the onion with the salt. It's like opposites thrown together.
A little bit of salt. I always try and season as I go, rather than trying to season at the end. I always try and put a little bit in as I go, particularly when you're doing any sort of stews or curries or casseroles, because it's much harder to season at the end because you're trying to season a large volume. Whereas if you just tip away at it, the salt will do its job, which is to bring out flavour.
Brilliant. When you're saying season, it's salt.
Yeah,
in
always.
essence, basics. Yeah,
absolutely.
Basic prime element.
It's always said, like you've got thyme, which is a key ingredient because you're trying to do things over time. But then you've got salt, you've got heat. Acidity, as I've seen you talk about so much, acidity is so important.
Oh, I love it.
And it's balancing that sweetness and the fat and the acidity, all of those things.
Perfect.
Balance it out.
Okay, so we've both got the same base, but through JP doing his few little tricks, he's got a whole extra degree of flavour that I don't have in my dish. Next step. So in terms of like a curry or a chickpea curry, to make this super simple and accessible, I'd simply go with 2 tablespoons of curry powder. I'd put it into the pan like this because cooking it into the pan, it's going to awaken it, heat it up and get its flavours going. JP's version though is...
We're going to get some spices.
Yeah. We can pop the pan there if you want, whatever way.
Oh yeah, cool.
So we're just going to toast whole spices, isn't it, JP?
Yeah, but this is you do this a lot anyway. This is not something that is the preserve of restaurant cooking, but it is a difference where you can actually bring your cooking to another level.
Yeah. So we've got some cardamom pods. So cardamom pods, quite aromatic. People like them or hate them. We're going with quite a lot here because we want to be this a little more floral, a little more fancy, a little more like what you wouldn't get at home.
As you can see, I don't use spices a lot now, so I'm just being rescued by putting in too many.
Yeah, but that's cool. We can grind it up. That's perfect. That's absolutely beautiful.
But I really love, like, spice cooking is something that has a lot of depth and a lot of flavour to it. And I think it's sometimes we overlook it because you go into the shop and you buy you buy curry powder, and then that's good. But to make your own is super simple, and it is next level cooking because then you can put in more or less whatever you like.
Totally.
It's interesting with the cinnamon. Because I suppose when we think of spices, we generally think of foreign food because spices are from like
Not from
Asia,
Ireland.
not from Ireland. But my book on Irish food is coming out next year.
Yeah,
and
JP, it's 600 recipes. So like any cookbook we've done, there's about 100 recipes. JP's done one that's like encyclopedic if you're into kind of Irish food and wanting to learn
And
more
the
about
really interesting thing was, and it was actually something I struggled with, was that spices have been in Ireland for about 800 to 1,000 years. And so where do you draw the line when just because something is not from here, does it make up part of Irish food? And like you can talk about like migration is so much a part of food. It's always you can never stop food migrating. Right, are we done?
Yeah, boom. So as soon as the mustard seeds or the cumin seeds start to pop, we're ready to go. So pop them into a pestle and mortar. We have a rather large one here. Okay, so even obviously you may not have one quite this large at home.
I don't even have one.
I have a very large one. But even the cinnamon quill will break down pretty good with this fella.
Jesus, this is even And will we sieve them then, or?
No, I like a bit of, personally I love texture in a curry, but some people, obviously if you want to, you can sieve them if you want to keep it just a real...
Since I'm going for the refined one, I might just like...
because
I'll lose marks now if there's bits of those in my curry.
I don't like those bits of my curry, right?
Yeah.
So, like, obviously, if you like a few bits in yours, leave it. I quite like a few bits. But
they would be exceptional. You're chewing on a bit of cinnamon.
Bit of bark,
which is fine at home, But if you came into my restaurant and I gave you a bark to chew on, you might be sad. Unless it was like oak bark or something, something medieval,
something carnal.
Yeah, exactly.
Something proper.
I served you something on oak bark. That is perfect. Look,
there we are.
Really beautiful. So what we'll do
nuances is a flavour.
Little pinch of salt into our spices, and what that'll do is it'll bring out the aromatic flavour. I always think adding salt into a little bit of spice.
Yeah, very sweet.
Right, I'm going to go subtle on the spices.
Okay, boom. Okay, next step, sauce. Obviously, if you want to keep just a simple, basic curry, I'm going to go a tin of chopped tomatoes and a tin of coconut milk. Very simple, very accessible. You'll see my curry powder's all kind of dried up around there. By adding in the coconut milk, it's gonna make it more liquidy.
Right, so we're gonna take the same ingredients, but we're gonna add one little extra thing.
Ooh,
and this
JP.
is mushroom broth. So literally, it's button mushrooms.
Just standard mushrooms then?
Standard mushrooms. Put as many of them as you can into a pot. Fill it full of water. Cook it for about an hour, and then discard the mushrooms. You can use them for another dish, and then reduce that liquid to about 1/10 of its volume. Okay, and so you're almost making like a mushroom soy.
Mushroom stock. It's like a soy,
like a stock soy. I think because of the concentration of flavors.
Yeah, mushrooms are one of the few. Mushrooms and tomato are one of the few veg that have natural umami properties. So through you reducing it, you're increasing umami.
So we're gonna put a little bit of this in before we put our coconut in.
Wow, so that's just literally just a little trick again. Yeah. We're bringing more time, more flavour.
More time and flavour. That's T-I-M-E, because Irish people, I just can't
time.
distinguish. Time and time.
Time and time,
Time
just gonna add a bit of thyme and rosemary.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's coming now. Do you use all your coconut milk, yeah?
I'll use it, you're fat. Fat, get the fat in there.
Absolutely.
Otherwise we don't want to, skimp on it. You got a fair bit of oil in there anyway.
No. So
that's your mushroom broth.
Is the fat on the top?
Yeah, so with your coconut milk, naturally in Ireland it'll separate. So JP here is just using the fat here. He's really, fat has twice the calories when compared to protein and carbohydrates. So by JP adding the cream, he's really, his cream in the base is carrier the flavours of mushroom broth. So it's very... You leave the water out.
Leave the water out for the moment.
Okay,
we might need it. We don't know
Okay, so
yet.
there's another trick. So it's seasoned with fat.
That's always the way, it is.
Yeah. Well, if you look at the French cooking,
fat and salt fat and salt are still, no matter what way you're cooking, are still the building blocks for flavour.
Principle delivers the flavour. Yeah.
I mean, totally sweetness, whether it's sugar, whether it's honey, you've got salt, loads of different types of salt, and then you have your fat. And also, as someone, even though fat and like spice are not one of your 5 flavors, which are like your salts.
Your salt, acid, bitter, sweet, or umami.
Yeah, but they reckon that one day they will be them.
They put fat in
they reckon that fat is the 6th flavor and the 7th flavor is spice. Because when you eat a chili, it's hot. And that doesn't come under. It doesn't come under acidity or bitterness or anything like that.
Very true. So here with mine, I'm just going to simply make it very easy and accessible. I have taken 1 tin of chickpeas. I have drained and rinsed them. In they go. I have 1 tin of lentils. I have drained and rinsed it. So through adding the chickpeas, I'm adding in protein, I'm adding in complex carbohydrate, and I'm adding in bite and body to my curry.
Right. Do we have a little blender?
Yeah, we could have whatever we want.
Yeah. I just blended tomatoes.
Okay, great.
Same tin. And we're going to put in, again, just a little less.
Okay, and because you want the majority of the flavour coming from the mushroom broth.
Yeah, but I also want to kind of balance out the flavour. So I'm going to try and reduce the sauce so we have a balance of mushroom, coconut and tomato and the spices.
Okay, nice. Okay, go JP. I'm excited to try it. To finish mine off, just to show the more easier accessible version, this is very simple. I'm going to season it up. So with salt, you have with seasoning, you get your 5 basic flavours. You have salt, sweet, acid, bitter, umami. I'm trying to balance all of them. So salt, I like JP's tip of seasoning all the way through it. So I'm going to go with a nice pinch of salt. Umami, traditionally not in a curry, but it's a great way of adding more complexity and more nuances of flavour. So I'm going to go with about a tablespoon of
Did you leave any lentils? You did.
Left you a few lentils.
You left me a few.
A little few.
Yeah.
I want to get in a little bit of acidity, so I could use lemon juice, I could use vinegar, I could use... Oh, I have my own apple cider vinegar. I'm going to use that. Okay, so I could get acidity from many different points. Acid could be lemon juice, lime juice, it could be vinegar, it could be anything like that. I brewed my own apple cider vinegar, so I'm just going to add a little bit, so about a teaspoon really. I'm going to mix that through it. And last and final thing, a little bit of coriander leaf. That's really it. If I wanted to take longer, I'd leave or reduce. What's happening there is it's going to evaporate lots of water, concentrate the flavour and make it stronger. However, mine's a 5-minute curry, so I'm kind of done.
Yeah, mine's a 15, 20-ish. Our artichokes are ready. So.
Oh, they smell fabulous. Yeah. Really good.
Really good. Really. The sweetness, like there's so many.
Oh, they're very nice.
So many different things going on there.
Oh, so they really are. So they like pop.
Yeah. So that's why we keep them whole as well, because literally they are good. They're quite soft now. So I just drop the heat right down.
The char is lovely. It's very it's subtle. Like, because when the artichoke pops, it's nearly like a potato. No, here we go.
Listen, look.
Another thing to look like a Michelin Star chef: use a tweezers.
Use a tweezers. I always say tweezers and a squeezy bottle, and you're halfway there. Just once you pull them out of the press, it's like, oh my god, this guy knows what he's doing.
He's just a legend. Oh, it does look pretty cool.
Yeah. So.
Looking posh, JP. Looking posh.
Listen.
Posh.
If we put it to the vote now, the public vote, well, yours might win.
I don't know. Like yours is fancy. There's different. There's something for everyone. There's something for everyone here, JP.
The food is very psychological.
Yeah.
And and it depends what mood you're in and what you want.
Yeah, and like some people love a fancy dinner, and some people go, no, I just want a burger and chips. So it's like whatever you're into. Absolutely. I think that's fabulous.
I'm going to take a little bit of coriander as well.
Yeah.
And we're going to put that in. So we're going to fold it up into a little ball. And off. And I always think it's important not to over chop herbs. Yeah. Because too many people, I think they get it from watching telly. And they're just like laying it there. If you're bored, it's the colour of your herb. You've chopped
gone
them too
much. Far.
Yeah.
Leave it. Slow down.
Yeah. So coriander, nice bit of coriander. And then we're going to put a little bit of more sea salt.
Ooh, I went strong on the vinegar.
Okay, I better check mine because I'm going to put a little bit of. We're going to put in a little bit of seaweed vinegar. Yeah, we're going to go a little bit of. So this is seaweed vinegar that we make in the restaurant. So just rapeseed oil, or you'll just literally get your vinegar. Are you infusing the vinegar with seaweed, it's,
or are you actually
white wine vinegar, seaweed, a little bit of sugar, and then a little bit of water, and then we just age it again, kind of timed.
JP, that's banging. There's a nice richness of that. The added fat really gives it a nice complexity to it.
Listen. It's lovely.
It's lovely and simple. Yeah,
yours is a bit hotter.
Yeah, a little spicier.
Yeah, spicier, yeah. So maybe I didn't... See, I'm always afraid.
You went for a lot of the aromatic spices, and I think I chilied for you. Another thing that is always so consistent with a Michelin Star restaurant, a Michelin Star chef, is how to plate. So for me, who's going to be a little bit, just to show how the basic punter would tend to plate this dish at home, they would tend to get a bowl and pour it into a bowl.
Okay. So
Which you show. You
do first. You go first. Yeah.
Okay, I'll do first. Okay, I like a little bowl like this.
Because the tweezers are going to come back out for me.
Of course it is. I know it is. I know it totally is. Okay, let me get something to. Okay, so when you don't have a ladle, just use some form of a glass or vessel like that.
Listen, this is rough and ready. This is before you go off on a 10-mile hike.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. Yeah,
you
exactly.
You can bring half it with you.
Well, this is like a 5-minute simple curry that will and it's a good crowd pleaser. It's something that everyone's going to go, that's a nice curry.
And it'll keep you going for the week.
Yeah. If you do want to add more little fancy bits, you can put, we can put some toasted nuts, we can toast some pita, we can do loads of little things. But I'm going to keep mine the pear back first.
Okay, pear back. See, this is,
Yay!
I don't even know what way this is going to go yet. But when we're plating, we're always trying to build up layers, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to take the onions first.
I like your approach.
We're going to make some sort of shape. Now this is not rehearsed.
No,
so,
that's the fun of it. So you're thinking like something beauty that you'd find in nature. So you're looking like a flower.
We're gonna like a petal.
Like an onion petal.
Like an onion petal. There you go.
JP.
Okay, so we're gonna go. We don't want to go too heavy on the artichokes, so we'll go 3 of them.
Oh, I like your JP. I love the way how deliberate it is when plating up. Like you saw how deliberate mine was. I used a cup and poured it into a metal bowl.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get rid of these marks.
Points taken off, JP. Yeah. Points taken off.
So, and then we just want the chickpea lentil, and we're gonna put that spoon that over it. So this is like the base sauce.
My word, okay. JP.
Right, and then
very elegant.
Finish.
You're a classy man. Look, for someone that looks like a Viking.
I know.
Wow.
A little bit more oil. That's a little bit more
fat. More fat, our dear friend fat.
A little bit more salt, and then we're gonna go same as yourself.
A few leaves of our dear friend.
Yeah. No, we just don't want them to be too big, so what we might do is we might half them because they're a little bit on the big side.
I really admire the deliberateness of every little in terms of plating.
Your brain likes irregular numbers better than it does regular ones.
I like the way it's 5.
Yeah,
five.
1, 3,
5 leaves of coriander.
1, 3, and 5 work better than 2, 4, and 6. But like I didn't. That is.
The little tweezers now.
Yeah. So we're gonna put these on. Try and get a little bit of volume with them, just getting to kind of kiss the chickpeas.
Oh, nice kiss the chickpeas. I like that. That's beautiful. Very good.
And then, cool. And then that's it. Good.
Boom.
Done.
Ready to go. Boom, dudes. That's how to make
chickpeas.
A chickpea curry like a Michelin Star chef. JP didn't rehearse any of that, so that's just totally him off the cuff.
Do you know what? I'm always, as you do when you're cooking, I'm pleasantly surprised.
At how it
because
all
you never
together.
know what way it's going to come out, and you're thinking on the fly. But
you kind of trust the process. I think that's
absolutely.
one of the funnest
and
parts
I think
of it.
the ingredients, having good flavors, and giving yourself a little bit of time to cook. I mean, that's all you got.
There we are. Dudes, check out JP Mc Mahon, Instagram at Mystery
Galway.
Cool restaurant in Galway, Aniar. He's got another tapas restaurant.
Cava and Tartar, little cafe and wine bar.
Super cool, dude. Check him out. Thanks for watching. Comment down below. Let us know which you would prefer for your dinner. Thanks for watching. Woo!
See you later.
I go with yours. I pick yours. No bother.
Go.